Hey everyone, I'm recording this for students of mine in MIS3502. This is a setup video for MIS3502 and it is video number 2 in a series of 3 videos. So, want to just take a second here and share with you the big picture. What we're trying to get to, of course, is that you have a PC or MacBook, and that device is able to connect to a remote host that is out on the cloud, in the cloud. It's an Amazon server. And previously, you provided with me a account number that helped me that will help me give you an image here of this machine. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to provision this machine out here in the cloud. So that's where we're headed. Let's get started. So by now, I'm expecting that of course, you've already done the preliminary setup video, part 1. We're up to part 2. After you complete part 2, you're going to get an email notification from me, and that will be your trigger to complete the last and final setup video for the course, setup part 3. Only when you have done all of these things here will you be able to complete your homework assignment number 2, which is going to be due this Sunday evening. So please be advised, you need to do all of these things here. That's all part of getting assignment 2 done. So let's get to work. Your first order of business is going to be to sign into AWS Educate. And please remember that that's awseducate.com. I'm going to do that right now. Your AWS Educate login page should look like this. You should see our friends here, what I call the 3 hipsters. If you don't see the 3 hipsters, you're probably on the wrong login page, and you need to go back to awseducate.com. So I'm already signed in as a user here, and when I sign in, I have my classrooms, and that lets me see Spring 2021 web service programming. I get to click on Go to Classroom. And this is a brand new account, just very much like what yours is. And I'm going to go to the AWS console. Now from here, I'm going to go to EC2. It's showing up here under recently visited services, but it's also under all services and EC2. So you want to go to EC2. And this is probably about as far as you got last time. I think you gave me this number up here in this drop-down list. But now we're moving on into some other setup work here, all in Amazon. I'm going to click this confirm message. They're very intent about telling me about their new interface. I don't really care to know about that right now. If you want to use the new interface, you can. So far, it seems pretty intent on flipping me back to the old one. I'm not sure why. So my interface looks like this. You might find that there's some subtle difference here and there in what you're seeing. So please read carefully everything that you have in front of you. The first thing I'm going to do, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, you might think you would go to instances, but I'm going to go to Elastic IPs. So that is right here in front of me under resources. It's also can be found here on the left-hand side underneath network and security. So I'm going to click on Elastic IPs. And I am going to allocate a new Elastic IP address. So I'm going to click on that. And it gives me some choices here, none of which I should change. So to keep the network group the same, I want it to be an IPv4 address, and I'm going to click allocate. And it gives me a confirmation message here that there was an IP address. I'm looking at it right here, 34.204.224.133 has been allocated successfully. Your Elastic IP address will be different. Okay, that's all I need to do with Elastic IP addresses right now. I'm going to come back to this in just a minute, but that number there that I have highlighted in blue will actually be very important for you later on. But not quite ready to make note of that yet. So I'm going to acknowledge that. And now I'm going to go back to the EC2 dashboard. So that's, again, on the left-hand side. I scroll all the way up to the top, and I'm going to go to the EC2 dashboard, and I'm going to go find instances that are running. And presently I have 0 instances running. If you have an instance running because you set one up on your own, or because you set one up in a prior class, you should stop it, maybe even terminate it, right? Right now, in your brand new account, you should have no instances running. I'm going to click on that. And I would like to launch a new instance. Again, the big orange button on the right. Now, it wants me to choose an image, an Amazon machine image to start with. And I'm going to go to my AMIs, my Amazon machine images, and it's going to say, you have not created any. But if I go down here on the left, under ownership, I can click on shared with me. And there you will find MIS3502 Spring 2021 image v2. This is really important. You're going to want to use this one. This machine has things installed on it. It's all set up. It's just right for our class, and invested quite a lot of time in getting this together for everybody. So I really want everybody to use this machine image, and hopefully I nailed it on the first go, and there's no glaring defect there. But I think this is really pretty good. So we're going to use this one. Select. And I can review and launch. And it's going to give me a little warning here that says your security group, Launch Wizard 1, is open to the world. Yours will probably also say Launch Wizard 1, but if it says something else, Launch Wizard 2, Launch Wizard 3, you want to make note of that. And that's all okay. I don't want to change any of that right now. I'm going to hit launch. And this screen is extremely important. Please, 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 please listen closely here. I do not want you to create a new key pair. I have created a key pair for you. So you can say proceed without a key pair and click on this button here that says I acknowledge that I will not be able to connect to this instance unless I already know the password built into this AMI. I will help you with that. I will help you discover that. So this is very important. Please, please do not do anything other than what you have here on the screen in front of you. It's proceed without a key pair, and you click the acknowledge button and you click launch. Great. Your instances are now launching, and we've got this confirmation page. I'm going to go back to the AWS logo in the upper left-hand corner, choosing console home, and go back to EC2. And you can see now that I have one instance running and one Elastic IP address. All right, so I'm going to go back to my Elastic IPs, and I am going to click on Actions and Associate. So this is the Elastic IP address I created. I want to associate it with that one instance I just created. So if I go down to instance, I click there, you can see it auto-populates with the one and only one instance that you have in your environment, and then I click associate. Okay. Now, this is big money right here. This is important. You'll notice that I have, again, I'm still on the Elastic IP address screen. Down here at the bottom, there's this little panel, and it can easily be obscured if it's way down low like this. But I'm gonna click those three little lines, drag it up, and scroll down a little bit. I want to know from you. I want to know what the associated IP4 address is, and I also want to know what your public DNS name is. Be very careful that you give me this IP address right here. There's other IP addresses all around in the system here, but I want your Elastic allocated IPv4 address. So let me go to my PowerPoint. I'm going to control click on this. And I'm going to put in, so I'm going to use the copy, I'm going to hit the little copy and paste, right? Your DNS name, your public DNS, right here. Okay, and then your name. And then your email address. And hit submit. Okay, that's the information I need from you. Now you're not done. You're not done yet. Let's do one little bit more here. I want to go back to AWS. Find that for a second. Here we go. Last thing I want you to do is I want you to go down into network and security again, security groups, and here you can see that Launch Wizard 1 group that was created when I created my virtual machine. So it's important that we edit this. So I'm going to click on the security group ID, and I want to edit the inbound rules. So I scroll down to inbound rules, edit, and here are the rules. The first rule is good. SSH is allowed from anywhere. I'm going to click add rule. I also want to allow a custom TCP range that starts with 8200 through, represented by a little dash there, 8230. And I want to allow that from anywhere. I also want to add another rule that says allow HTTP from anywhere. And I'm going to add one more rule that will allow HTTPS from anywhere. Okay, there they all are. I'm going to hit save. And then I'm just going to take a quick peek at those rules. They should look like this. HTTP from anywhere, SSH from anywhere, custom TCP from anywhere, 443 for HTTPS from anywhere. And the range here in the custom line is 8200 to 8230. Okay, so let me go back to my presentation here. Let me see what I forgot, if anything. Let's see, let's review. I provisioned an EC2 server based on the AMI I shared with you. And very important, I chose to proceed without a key pair when I did that. I created an Elastic IP address and DNS name associated with them and associated them with that machine instance. Did that. You shared that IP and DNS information with me because I filled out the Google form. Did that. And you went into your Amazon security group and made sure that all the correct ports were open. 22, 80, 443, and 8200 through 8230. Sounds good. Now, last point, you left your EC2 server running. Some of you will be tempted to shut your EC2 server off when you're not using it. I would respectfully ask that you do not do that. I won't be able to help you if you shut your server off. Please leave it up and running all the time. Let me be clear about that. Leave it up and running all the time. And you have enough credit through Amazon to let you do that through the end of the semester. Should not be an issue. Please leave your EC2 server here on your AWS Educate EC2 panel. Leave this one instance running. So I can now sign out wherever that is. Here we go. Sign out, and I can sign out of over here, and I'm done. All right. I think that's good. If you have any trouble, give me a holler on email. Be sure you put your MIS3502 in the subject line, and be on the lookout for communication from me regarding the third and final setup video. Thanks for your attention. I'll talk to you soon.